pennies. I want them in your hands right now. There's a purpose. So, all right. So, good morning. I welcome everybody to WBU Mesa. My name is Cheryl. I'm the store manager, and one of my passions is birds, and especially hummingbirds. And hopefully, I blow your socks off with all this amazing, cool information about these birds that we think we understand. But do we really? So, one of the things I'm going to share 3 fun facts with you before I start the presentation. And the first one is that hummingbirds spend a shocking 80% of their time perching on branches. So, not flying, but perching. These aerial acrobats are actually lazy sitters who conserve energy by resting on the branches between brief feeding sessions, completely flipping what we think of them. Because we think they're hyperactive and that they're always moving. They're not always moving. 80% of the time they're not moving. So. Their brain makes up 4% of their weight. Here's where the pennies come in. The average weight of a hummingbird is 3 to 5 grams, which is the equivalent of the 2 pennies you're holding in your hand. Wow. And then 4% of that weight is your brain. So you can either keep them as my gift, or you can put them back in as you want. All right. That's it. Now we can go home. No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. All right. All right. So hummingbirds are birds of extreme. They're small and speedy, tidy, aggressive. They have little bodies and big appetites. They have the fastest wings and the fastest heartbeat. They're fiercely independent, yet devoted parents. Well, parent. That's an Anna. So there are approximately 340 living hummingbird species, and they are entirely unique to North and South America. Arizona hosts the most hummingbirds in the country, or the U.S. So 7 species of hummingbird commonly nest in Arizona. And during the spring and fall migration, you may have an opportunity to see as many as 15 different species of hummingbird in the state. And the first one we're going to talk about is the one we're probably very familiar with. These are the ones we're going to showcase. The Annas, Black-chin, Costa, Broadtail, and Rufus. So here's the Anna. Male, obviously, he's on the left, female's on the right. Okay, so this bird used to be just West Coast, but it is very adaptable, and it has adapted its range as we have provided it with landscaping, flowers, and hummingbird feeders. So as we become more enthralled with the Anna pays us back, becoming more, I don't know, interested in hanging around us because we provide it easy access to nectar and flowers. It doesn't need males and females have iridescent, hot, pinkish gorgets, and that's what the plumage is called on the front. Okay, is a gorget. The female has one as well. It's smaller, spotty, and less vibrant. And this is a female. And I don't know if the lights are allowing you to see that underneath her chin, she has that the speckliness, that's her gorget, and it'll be a duller pinkish color. Males have a crown, so not only do they have the gorget that fluffs up, it's what we see underneath that flashes, but he also has feathers that he can, when he decides to, that are iridescent, that pop up like that. And females have a white spot behind their eye. That's one way of identifying them. As far as hummingbirds go, Annas are strong vocalists. And I wanted to, where's my phone? They breed almost all year. 0.25% of their diet is soft-bodied insects. Anna males, they can do a courtship dive they go up 130 feet, and then they can swoop down, and just before they do a U in front of the female, they're pulling about 9 Gs. So, which is about what an astronaut does at certain speeds. I think it's 65 miles an hour, astronauts. And that really impresses the female. And if you excuse me for a minute, I'm going to go get my phone. There's this amazing app from Cornell Labs that is called Merlin Bird ID. And so I want to play for you as soon as I find it. Come on, it should be up front. There it is. The Anna. No, not the Gila woodpecker.
Well, sometimes they pretend they're hummingbirds.
Oh.
They like the feeders.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about hummingbirds. I'm not recording. Oh, there it is. Really, I did this at home and it was just fine. You guys hear it? Yeah. Well, that's an Anna. That's a male or female, because they're both going to sing. So get used to it, because you're going to hear it a lot come February, if you don't hear it now. Right. So our next one is the black-chinned hummingbird. This bird, aren't they pretty? This is like one of my favorite hummingbirds. I like hummingbirds, but this is one of my favorite ones.
Too.
It's a powerhouse at 3.5 inches long. It's sleeker and more streamlined than the Anna. The Anna is more like a full body, if you can have a full body hummingbird. It's a full body bird with a thicker neck. Your black chins are sleeker, thinner. I think they're actually a prettier hummingbird than some of the others out there, just because of it's so stylish. Males have dark purple gorget. This happens to be a male. And he has that's his gorget, that purple. And it's limited to the throat. So he doesn't have necessarily a crown that he can flash like the Anna. It's black when the light hits it, which is the opposite of majority of hummingbirds, because they use the light. They're usually black, and then use the light to the sunlight brings their color out. Well, his feathers do the opposite. His feathers, because that's what feathers do. Feathers play with light like a prism, iridescence do. So it's the opposite. See if I get this right. So when the black chin is sporting his black feathers, that means that it's not reflecting any light back. And when it's in the shade, like this guy's in the shade, and he turns his head around, you can see the purple is there. But when he's in the light, it's not going to reflect. Just like with blue jays aren't blue. Their feathers aren't blue, their feathers are gray. When they go out into the sunlight, the only color that the sunlight allows those feathers, or the feathers genetically allow to reflect into the sun, are blue. All right, so these are really cool hummingbirds. It has a white dot. I don't know if you can see it, but they do have a white dot behind their eye, a white spot. The body is emerald green and whitish gray underneath, and it's very adaptable. It's found nesting all over the Southwest, and along the coasts of Mexico, both sides. It's very adapted to urban areas and suburban areas. So this is a bird that, I don't know, my black chins like to nest in my jasmine vine that is next to the trash cans on the side of the house. Now, how often do we empty the trash and use the side gate? And she's there every year in that spot where she likes to put her nest. So they're not too concerned about us. They use us.
How big is the nest?
Oh, I got a picture. It's not very big. Come on, Cheryl. That's her last nest. I don't know if this puts it into better perspective. That's after, I don't bother them while they're in there, that's after they left. It's a little tiny nest, it's like the size of a golf ball. Maybe smaller, so an Anna's is about the size of a golf ball, because they're a bigger bird. But hers is probably a little smaller. And it's cylindrical, it spirals down, where an Anna's is more of a cup, like a half a. Like if you cut a golf ball in half, that's an Anna's nest, is how she's gonna make it. But the black chin, she goes down more in a cone shape.
I learned too that, because I have some vines where it's important for us to keep like, the spider webs, like, you know, those webs that
Yep,
kind of go
cobwebs.
all, yeah, because that's what they use to kind of get their nest together.
Yep, that's what they use to actually sew it to the tree branch and sew it together. So, it wouldn't surprise me if you found black chins in high traffic areas nesting around your home or your apartment or townhome, condo, wherever you are. I used to hide camelback all the time before it became like the thing to do. And a camelback mountain in Phoenix. And one day we were hiking up there, and there was a little black-chinned hummingbird, and she had her nest at the end of a branch. I mean, right there, you had to go under the branch to go up the hill. So everyone who went up and down that trail had to go under her nest, and she was not the least bit concerned. I mean, we looked right at her, and she was just like, "Hi, I'm just sitting here." So they're really cool that way. Another way, it's been documented in southern areas of Tucson, down slightly past Tucson. This particular hummingbird, they're not usually colony nesters, and I don't want to say that they are, but you could find underneath Cooper's hawks and sharp-shinned hawks. Now they make open platform nests, out in open, underneath there in various areas, up to 3 different black-chin nests.
Wow.
Now, why do you think they do that? Protection. Isn't that smart? Because they know that the hawk, the female sharp-shinned or the female Cooper's hawk, they're not interested in eating her. She's too small. I mean, why would you eat a quarter of a Snickers? You can have the whole bar, right? You just, So they're not interested in her. Not only does that but it doesn't necessarily provide her protection from the hawks, but it's the other birds. So like grackles, jays, because they have jays down in the south. They're all woodpeckers. Curved thrashers can be nest raiders. Kestrels can raid hummingbird nests. So they are protected from all of that. And that's why Annas and black chins are on the incline. They're increasing in population because they've been able to adapt to their environment and to humans. And that's really important because we're everywhere. So they seem to be using what is available to them and making good use of it. All right, so our next one is the Costa. So that's the male. And he has a different gorget. So he has a gorget that not only is going to flare out this way, he does have a top. No, females on the right there. I think the females are really pretty with their subtle colors. There he is. So they're small, compact, and they have a short tail compared to other hummingbirds. They have that purple gorget. It flares out like an old-fashioned mustache. You can see that. But all of that black that is showing on him will be purple. And actually when he does a mesmerizing dance to impress females, and he will actually flare it all out, and he kind of looks like a starfish. So he's got a little point, got a little this, got a little that, and he does this little dance. He goes in a little figure eight. His little body's going on a little pretty funny. He's adorable. So females they're soft greenish in color. They do have a white eyebrow stripe. They're grayish cheek patches and white underpants. And they survive in the heat. Mojave and Sonoran deserts, that's what they like. And this little guy needs to visit 1,840 flowers a day to meet his energy requirements.
Who counted that?
That was my thought. Thank you. I'm like, how do they know that? I don't know. Sometimes they use, researchers have like a math equation they use, but I bet someone literally had to count that out. Yeah, I don't know whether they trapped him in a space. I don't know. But yeah, that was my thought. And he has a really cool dance. You can Google it on YouTube if you want to see him. He's pretty awesome. All right, so now we're going to go to the broadtail. Now, the broadtail, you'll see that in the Phoenix Valley, the broadtail doesn't necessarily breed here, but it's a winter visitor. So it comes down from the cold weather, up above Payson, and then he's going to inhabit, and she's going to inhabit down here. Like I have broadtails right now, and I can tell I have them. I don't even have to see them because you hear them. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But they're a medium-sized bird, green on the top, green and brown colored feathers on the side. They're really pretty. They have a white chest. That's unusual for hummingbirds, but it continues all the way down. You can see him continues all the way down. Let's move on. There he is. That's his gorget. He's got a rose-colored gorget, which is really pretty. It's one of the prettiest ones I've ever seen on a hummingbird, and it doesn't vary that much. I mean, the color is the color. And females have green speckled throats and cheeks. So both have white tail tips visible in flight. So you can see that. Their wing tips produce a trill when flying. All right. Give me a minute, I'm going to find the trill.
Okay.
Come on, there it is. Come on. Come on, let's do that. hear it? So that's not his song, that's their wings making the noise as they're flying. So if when you hear that coming up behind you, you know who's going to your feeder.
Almost sounds like a cricket.
Yeah, it's really cool. They have, they literally, while they're flying, have to vibrate 2 feathers together to make that noise.
It's a lot of coordination required.
I know.
I can't even walk on the sidewalk without
Well,
tripping.
I can't even work my app.
Yeah, see? Like, hummingbirds are better than people.
Yeah. So they breed at 10,500 feet. So that's like, you know, I usually see a lot of broadtails when I'm camping up above Payson. I mean, that's the majority of the hummingbirds that I'm feeding when I'm up there. If you're up there in June and July, that's all you hear if you have feeders out, is that shrill, because they're like everywhere. They like to drop dive their competitors, so duck, because they will on you, especially if you're doing something with the feeder. They don't understand that the nectar has to be changed. They just know that you are touching their feeders, so and they're not happy about that. These birds will chase persistently to rid their territory of competition. So they are constantly moving. If they're not moving, they're sitting. But, you know, that noise is there. And they breed between March and July. All right, my favorite is coming up. Well, one of my favorites. I don't know if I have a favorite, but he's pretty cool. So we got the rufous here. Now, he's not generally one that people think that is in, that breeds in Arizona, but I can tell you they do, and they visit the Phoenix Valley. So I'm kind of bucking the system here, because I have seen them up in the mountains, and they have had nests, and they are breeding, and they're prevalent up there. So, but they're, but he is a force, let me tell you, she and he. So they're a smaller hummingbird, nearly a straight bill. I don't know if you've noticed, but some hummingbirds, they have a curve to it, or it's slightly bent. The tail tapers to a point when folded. Isn't that cute? When they say his tail's folded. You know? His short wings. So his wings actually don't reach his tail. Like, I don't know if you noticed in some of the other pictures of the hummingbirds, some of them have wings when they're folded that go longer than the tail or match up with the tail. His don't. His and hers are shorter. Males are bright orange on the back and belly with iridescent red throat flashes of green. Females are greenish with rusty washed flanks, which are sides, rusty patches on their green tail, and an orange spot on their throat. So they still have a gorget, but we don't really look for it on the female because we're used to seeing it on the males. They are feisty, they're tyrants, they're relentless. They have a migration that is 4,000 miles long from Mexico to Alaska, generally. Now, that's a lot to ask of a bird, right? So wouldn't you be a little feisty and a little bit of a tyrant if you came across, 8 ounces of nectar and you really need it because you got to go all the way to Alaska because that's what your genetic DNA is telling you to do? Yeah. So, and you got a time frame that you got to do it in because there's short windows here. And because he's a migrator, or she, they have excellent memory. Because birds that migrate do have more space in their brains to applied to long-term memory or memory so that they can remember where they went, where they found food on their trips up and down. So I find that fascinating. So, if you had a rufous let's say this spring, come through your house, not through your house, well, they would, but, visit your feeder through your yard, I don't know, spend 24 hours or so resting up, drinking out of your water fountain and doing whatever. When he goes to Alaska, or they go up to where there's, on their way, and they're coming back, they have your spot. They have a picture. They have a memory of where they really enjoyed that 24-hour rest. And let's say you move the feeder. Let's say you move the bird bath. Or maybe you're doing re-landscaping and your bird bath isn't up and your feeder's in the front yard. Well, you've just made this little tyrant very agitated because he relies on his memory and he's going to be looking all over that backyard for that feeder because he knew when he went up in April that, and it's August now, he went up in April that it was here. So it should be here because that's the way he remembers it.
Is that the only one that remembers the nest?
No, they all kind of have, he's the one who is very specific about his visual memory.
Okay.
This particular bird. All of them remember where feeders are. He's probably the least flexible. Because again, he's on a timetable, he's just like, where is it? And so if that can happen, he can be flying around in the backyard and not realize it. And it not hit him right away that the feeder's in the front yard.
Are they all migrating? Because I know I saw a lot and now I don't see as many. Or when I lived in Colorado, you just see them all summer long and then they disappear for the winter. Are we getting Colorado's winter visitors?
Yeah, because the Colorado hummingbird, the one that's most prevalent there is the broadtail.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when I saw Ann Rufus's there when I was in Colorado. So the only hummingbird that out of the 6 that we talked about that's on the decline is the Rufus. And it's because he's migratory. Because, not to say that all hummingbirds don't migrate because they don't like cold weather. Well, the Anna can hang out through mild winters. Like you can see Annas in Washington and Oregon all year round if they're providing them with heated water and heated feeders. That little Anna, though, is hanging on to that feeder there. I have family up in Oregon and they have them. But most of the time they're warm weather birds. They don't want to deal with the bad snowy weather. So they move a little south and then they move a little north. Or they might move east to west. But for the most part, the hummingbirds in Arizona stay where they are. Like the broadtails just goes like from Phoenix up to Tucson. I mean, they just change elevation. So I guess that's basically what their migration is, where Rufuses are changing their whole location.
They're also a noisy bird also. You can hear them coming. Now, is that their wingtips also?
I bet they make noise.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Hummingbirds do make noise because, they're like, I don't know, those helicopters that are rattling. But I bet he makes noise. I bet he wants you to know he's coming and get out of his way. Because that's his attitude. I don't know. A couple of years ago, we were camping up at Heber, and I had 4 hummingbird feeders out. I want you to know they weren't enough. And it was June. And I'm like, oh my God. And I thought I brought enough nectar, but I don't think I did, but because I ran out. But I had 17, if I could count them all, hummingbirds visiting my various feeders. And I had to keep moving them because they were constantly fighting. And
How long were you there?
10 days. And my dog, who's 85 pounds, well, okay, he's a chicken anyway, but he's a big dog, was scared of the Rufus hummingbird. He stayed underneath the RV when that Rufus was flying around because that man, you just got out of its way. I mean, I lifted my book up because I could, and it would go like this. I would lift my feet up and it would go, and it went underneath the chair I was sitting in to read, up and over. I mean, if he wanted to hit me, I think he would have, and it would have hurt. I don't know who it would have hurt more, me or him, but yeah, he was, and between him and the broadtails, it was kind of dangerous to sit up there, so.
Wow.
But they are, and they do fight. People don't realize this, but they will fight to the death. Not just rufuses, but hummingbirds. I mean, we think of them as these soft, beautiful,
Peaceful.
peaceful, perfection in a way of nature, and they are perfection. But they're survivors, and it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, or a bird-eat-bird world. And if they're going to survive, they got to be on top. So yeah, they will, including males and females. If they don't like you, if they don't want you there, they will fight to the death. That's why they got those pointy bills. And he in particular, he's the one who terrorized my dog. He is not scared to use it. Yeah. And I actually saw another thing that they will do, rufuses in particular, will swoop down on their competitors or who they want to chase out, and they will take their feet and scratch them. I'm like, are you kidding me? But they do. I mean, if I hadn't seen it, I don't know if I would have really believed it. So these guys are serious. All right. So these are hummingbirds that nest in Arizona, but not in the Phoenix area. So you'd have to go down to Tucson or just slightly or southeast. So we have the broad-billed hummingbird, small bird found in southeastern central Arizona. The Rivolis, which used to be, I don't know why they changed the name, but it used to be called the magnificent hummingbird. It's a larger hummingbird that can be found at mid-level elevations between 5,000 to 9,000 feet. I have seen this on the Greens May to July, and you can find it up in Heber, Payson, that area up there. It's definitely a larger bird comparatively to the others you're used to seeing. And they always look tired, especially the females, so I don't know. And then the blue-throated mountain gem hummingbird, the largest hummingbird that nests in the U.S. I've never seen this one. This is not my picture. They are complex vocalists, both the males and the females. And they breed in Arizona April through July. All right, so now we got a better idea about hummingbirds. How can we attract them to our yard? That's one of the questions we get all the time. How can I attract these birds? Well, careful what you wish for. So native plants is the best way. Yes, a feeder is good, but native plants helps support. Sometimes just putting a feeder out doesn't necessarily work, because if there aren't any native plants there, there's nothing really to pique their interest. So, excuse me, Mexican honeysuckle, firecracker penstemon, and tuberosa. All great versatile plants, require minimal water, make it through the summer, and they bloom at different times. That's another thing that's important with hummingbirds. If you want to keep hummingbirds all year long, you need to find plants that bloom in alternate times of the year. So like my Mexican honeysuckle and my tuberosa are not blooming. My tuberosa is blooming right now. My Mexican honeysuckle just got done. My firecracker penstemon will start in February. I got some more here. Here's some more. I like trees. So there's a desert willow. It's great for hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies. The best plant I ever planted, and I had a fight with my husband over this because he thought it was ugly, was the Baja Fairy Duster. And I have a red one. It does come in pink. It is a shrub or a tree. I have mine growing in like tree form. It's great for hummingbirds, warblers, verdin, and butterflies. And it's always blooming. It's always blooming. I don't ever not have blooms on it. I have 2 of them. It actually grows in a pot. So I have one that's in a pot. I keep it smaller. And then I have one in the back corner of my yard that is more tree-like. It's like 8 feet tall. And then I like vines. So this is a hummingbird's trumpet. It's a vine, and they seem to love it. All right, so now we're going to talk about nectar. So the ratio for sugar water is 4:1. So 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. So the best rule is to do 2 cups of hot, 2 cups of cold, and a cup of white table sugar. Makes 32 ounces, and it can store for up to 2 weeks. So you don't have to worry about it. That makes changing your nectar a little easier because you don't have to remake the nectar all the time.
What is the point of combining the temperatures of the water?
Well, so you're using white table sugar,
Right.
all right? So it needs the hot water to dissolve,
Right.
and then you need to cool it. So that's why you add the 2 cups of cold water. And I would recommend, whether you take it out of the refrigerator or whether you've just made it, let it sit until it's room temperature, and then put it out. No matter what whatever's happening outside, room temperature, your room temperature, and then you can put it out there. So red dyes are no. They're not good for us, but they're especially not good for those small birds. They see red really well, but as long as you've got red on your hummingbird feeder, they're cool. They don't need their nectar red. In nature, that flower nectar is not red. That flower nectar is clear. It can create kidney lesions and death. So it's really not a good idea for the birds. Type of sugar, only refined white sugar. I cannot say this enough. It's just think brown is bad. Raw sugar, honey, molasses, we've heard it all. Brown sugar, no. White table sugar, the stuff that we're not supposed to put on our cereal or in our coffee. That's what they want. It is the closest, when you do the formula, the 4:1 ratio, to nectar that they find in flowers. Cleaning is very important, and temperature is very important. So we're going to get to that right now. So here in Arizona, we have 2 things going for us. We have hummingbirds available to us to feed 365 days a year, 24/7. All right. But we also have extreme heat temperatures. So if it gets over 93 degrees, unfortunately, we have to change our nectar every day, which is what I do. Is I have these. These are the hummingbird feeders I use. So if I have to change my nectar every day, on the side of our feeders, hold on. On the side of our feeders, I don't know if you can see it, but there's measurements. So there's 8 ounces right there. You shouldn't have to fill this 8-ounce feeder higher than the line right here. It doesn't have to go all the way up to the top. There's an 8 ounce, there's a 6 ounce, and there's a 4 ounce. So in July, when it was that ridiculous hot weather that we had, and I had 1, 2, 3, I had 6 feeders out there because I have more hummingbirds than I know what to do with in July. I'm only filling it up to the 4 ounces because I got to change it every day. And I have as many feeders as I have out, I have in the back.
That's what I do too.
So I just rotate them. That way I'm not stressed. I mean, if I have to go to work and I know I have to do my dog, my cat, and my birds, you know, I just pull those feeders in, put the new feeders out, and I'm good to go and I can come home and wash them. Or if I'm really a good girl, my husband will wash them for me. But that's the idea. You have to, because it ferments and it gets cloudy. And when it ferments and it gets cloudy, they get that, they get a fungus that grows in their throat and they starve to death. So not only is that bad for the bird that drank out of your hummingbird feeder, but let's say it's a female. And now the fungus can be transferred to her babies. So it's really, really important here. I cannot stress it enough to keep your feeders clean. And make it as easy for you to do that as possible. Yes?
Yeah, you're showing that feeder right there. I've got a problem with that, in that the other birds can swing on it, and it all empties out, and then I got a mess on my patio.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that.
Oh,
So that is, it does, because it provides a perch, which gives a rest for the hummingbirds and you an opportunity to see them at length. Yeah. So that is, yes.
Should you have more than one feeder, even if you only have a very few hummingbirds, just so they don't have to be in competition, or will they fight over that one anyway?
Out of sight, out of mind. So, so the answer is yes, because the more feeders you have, the more hummingbird traffic you're going to get. That's just a fact. But if you put 3 hummingbirds in a row on your patio, you're going to get one hummingbird, male or female, who's going to guard all 3 of those. They're going to wear themselves out, but they will do it. So if you put one in front of one window, let's say in your back patio, you can put one further out, maybe 10 feet, maybe anywhere from 10 to 25 feet away from the other one, where you can still view it, but you would get, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go around the house. So I have a hummingbird feeder in front of the kitchen window, which is on the side. I have a hummingbird in front of my office window, which is on the other side. And I have one in front of the living room window that is so I have them in front of windows, but nobody really knows who's visiting those. And I'm sure my hummingbirds in the backyard visit the front yard at the sign the ones in the front yard are visiting the backyard. So it's kind of like navigating cat traffic, how they can walk the same path, but they do it at different times. As long as they don't see the competitor, they think they own it all. So yeah, you can do that. So what kind of feeders should I choose? The one that you will keep clean. We get this, what's the best hummingbird feeder? And that's my response is, if you walked in the door and you asked me, I would tell you the one you're going to clean, because that is the most important feature about the feeder. Is it easy to clean? So I have several pictured up there. Gravity feeders are fine. People like them. Hummingbirds like them. They are hard to clean. They are because there's a lot of plastic and metal at the bottom. Plastic is really good at, if it's not treated properly, collecting mold. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in there. Metal rusts. So it's not a long-term feeder. I mean, the glass will last forever, but the bottoms won't. Another thing, we're going to get to this later, is a lot of gravity feeders put yellow on their flowers. And you know who sees yellow really well? I mean, really well. Bees.
Right.
So someone didn't do their homework, because why are they putting yellow on a feeder for hummingbirds that see red really well? And red to them says, oh, that is a lot of nectar in there. If I go to red flowers over, let's say, yellow flowers, I'm going to get like a big gulp. That's what it says to the hummingbird. Well, the opposite is true with yellow. yellow to the bee says, that's a big gulp over there.
Is there an issue with the metal ones getting too hot in the summertime? I always worry about them getting burned.
I don't think so.
Not an issue?
I don't think so. It's more of the fact that what is it putting in the water? Overuse, overwashing. And can you really clean it? Can you really see in there whether there's mold?
Thank you.
So we have cleaning tips because, I'm sorry, that's our biggest thing. We would like you to use plant-based soaps, brushes. My favorite brush is this handy brush right here that's curved, and then a little port brush. It says clean the soap every time you change the nectar. So I'm going to be honest, I don't do that. I clean them regularly, don't get me wrong. But I don't use soap all the time because they can taste it. And what if I use too much soap, even though it's a plant-based soap? What if I use too much of it and they can taste the soap? They're nectar connoisseurs. They are incredibly picky. So I don't always use soap all the time. I make sure that my feeders are clean. I rinse them thoroughly. I let them air dry 90% of the time in the sun. So I don't always use bleach either, but I do rinse thoroughly and I do use the sun. The sun breaks down bleach, so if you do need to bleach them, like I would think a gravity feeder that has those nooks and crannies would need to sit in something, but at the same time, how would you be able to make sure that the bleach that's exposed on the inside is broken down? Sun breaks down bleach, so it's safe to put it out there. So, but make sure that they're clean, regularly, rinsed thoroughly, and air dried. Sitting in the sun. If you use something, so that helps to break it up. If they can't taste it, they will taste the difference in your nectar. Let's say, I don't know, you overslept. Oh, I gotta do the hummingbird feeder. Oh, I don't have nectar made. And for whatever reason, you put in, instead of a cup, you put in a cup and a quarter. Or you put in less water than you normally do because you're being quick and you're not being as exact with your measurements. So the nectar hasn't been like it has been the last, I don't know, 2 months. It just happens, it's just a little off. They can taste that.
Will they avoid it?
Yes.
Or will they
If they
just
don't like it,
turn up their nose?
yeah, they'll turn up their nose. Because it's not what they want. It's not what they want, yeah.
Look at the soil family. That was like in our house.
No, we covered this. How many feeders is the correct number?
It's cute.
Is that your
I'm ready.
So that Peter, I think when we saw yours, you had like.
No.
I'm sorry. This one here?
My problem is the halo was better, which
okay.
And I tried many things, put it on a pedestal, turn it down, shoot the woodpecker, which I can't do. I don't know how to put anything, I don't know how to make it a net.
Only put in 4 ounces. Don't fill it up all the way. So the hummingbird's tongue, its tongue is twice as long as its bill.
Yeah.
So it can lick, it can clean this completely clean. Your woodpecker can't get that far down in there. That's why he's tipping it. But less will spill, and you might not get any because you can't tip it that far to get the 4 ounces out. So first I would put less in. I don't know how you would not. That would have to be.
You're gonna have to have like tie on the perch
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, kind of like.
affix it up top.
You could try a window feeder. But it catches down the
Take a
window.
piece of wire and wrap it around the branch and the stem of the hook. And it's stuck in the wood.
I haven't forgotten about woodpeckers. They're in my, I got them. So how many feeders are there? Correct number? We covered that already, really, because I shared that the more hummingbirds you want, the more feeders you need for. They do not share. This is in migration and migration. And it's in a migration, a hummingbird migration corridor, so I stole that. From them. So that's an oddity. I know those. I had 16 ways, 4 feeders, 16 ways for them to eat. And they all wanted on a feeder, so only 4 hummingbirds were eating out of the 4 feeders at a time. Okay, and then they're driving each other nuts. So females may share, depends on how tired they are. Juveniles will share because they have not, they don't have the full adultness to take out. Very rare. So like if they're migrating through, let's say, these are, I don't know, let's just say they're young lupuses. And, you know, they're coming from Alaska and they're moving their way down into Mexico. And they don't travel in groups, they travel individually. So they all, let's say 3 of them end up at a feeder together. They will sit and drink because they haven't matured enough, or they're exhausted, or they really don't care. But if you're not going to find 4 full-grown males lupuses. Cheryl, that's
Eudora, E-U-D-O-R-A.
I've never seen that. I mean, I guess it's possible. Anything's possible, but momentarily, and I think one of them will blow the gasket before long. So how to keep bees off my feeders? One of the best ways is just take the yellow. Don't have yellow on your feeders. We do have, for our feeders, we have nectar. You can put bee guards on your feeders. And we do have what's called bee guards, the rubber,
Take it in the spout and go.
they are rubber covers to put on the back of them that keep the bees from getting in there and keeps the in there.
Why does it matter if bees?
It aggravates the hummingbird. They don't like bees. And sometimes you can get too many. I mean, I guess, okay. Well, they don't like anybody. So I guess it's fair to
bees
say.
too, so.
Yeah, we need bees. Yeah.
You know what I've done with my bees, because I had that problem too with the hummingbird and the bees. All of a sudden I get a bunch of bees. I have that turquoise water thing, a bird water. And I now shred an apple and put that around and then put nectar in for the bees and put that away, you know, in a different place, and all the bees go to that now. And they don't bother the hummingbird.
You can do distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's worked good. Otherwise they go right to my
Because
head.
it can be.
So now I'm
certain times of
feeding
year-
birds and hummingbirds.
Yeah, at certain times of year, it can be really difficult to have.
Yeah.
Certain hummingbird feeders out there, keeping bees
Yeah.
off of them. Yeah.
Did you just say you had turquoise water?
Though that little turquoise water
This guy.
over there.
This right here.
That's really, yeah. But now I use it as a bee feeder.
Okay.
All right, here we go. How do I keep woodpeckers off my feeders? All right, the best thing to do is to use a distraction. They can be distracted. You can provide them with something other than the nectar. Now, we need woodpeckers, Gila woodpeckers in particular, because they're the ones that pollinate our cactuses, our saguaros. So they have, by nature, they've been given this sweet tooth. So they're not, I shouldn't say they're not trying to be obnoxious. They are, because that's a part of who they are. But they have a drive for it. What works in my yard is a half an orange. I don't know if anyone's got a tree or a place that they can, wedge a half an orange. I put a half an orange out every day. If I don't, he tells me, the woodpecker tells me that I have forgotten, and I will quickly remedy that because he doesn't shut up. But he stays off my hummingbird. He stays off my hummingbird feeders. Rarely is he on them, and he will eat that orange in sections, and he will eat half an orange every day. And he brings his girl, he brings his kids. So I've been doing it for 6 years, and I can't move it. I mean, I have a tree that I put it in. Every now and then I try to change it. Yeah, change it up. No, he wants it right where it's always been. That's just how he wants it. Because if not, he taps on my window.
Do you get a lot of ants, though, that come after the orange?
No. I don't get a lot of ants. Do ants get up into the orange? Yes, but woodpeckers eat ants. So they don't. That's an additive.
That's
Oh,
their
cool.
protein.
It's seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I'm good.
All right. So I'm going to rain on everybody's parade.
3 bags.
Mythbuster, hummingbird houses. Okay, there's no such thing. All right. This is a spider house. Right? They don't like bird houses. We'll get this. They don't. That's not what they want. A female hummingbird is the most independent single parent you have ever met. She wants to do her own thing, make her own house. Thank you, but no thank you. And she's an open cut nester. All of them are. All right. So they're creative interior decorators. They want to do their own thing. And they are specific to the breed of hummingbird. So female hummingbirds, they're single parents by choice. That's how they want to do it. They don't need assistance raising their babies. They don't need assistance making their house. They don't want it, and they don't need it. Anna's hummingbirds construct taupe and ash gray nests. Black-chinned females weave unmistakable beige to antique white. Like I said, cylindrical nests. And a rufous female nest will sport burnt orange and mahogany hues. All of these color distinctions match the tree bark and the feathers of their unhatched young. To me, that is amazing. We can't do that. We can't decorate to match our children's surroundings, not really. She knows exactly what she needs to do. And they get in there. This is taken at Boyce Thompson Arboretum. I believe that is a little black chin and a picture. I don't know if you guys can tell, but she has taken bark from the tree and sewed it onto her nest. You can see it on here. Maybe I'll put it back up so you can see it there. And she was sitting there so nice. And again, it was over a pathway in the well-trafficked garden area. And guess who was bothering her? A male black-chin. Would not leave this little girl alone. She was having a time. She wanted to sit on her eggs, and he was over there buzzing around, doing his little whatever, dives and trying to entice her. And she's like, I'm busy here. So she was constantly chasing him away. But, so they get in, they're going to collect their materials, and they're going to collect their spider webs. She's going to pick her spot, and she's going to make like a little seat for herself. And then she's going to sit on that little seat, and she's going to sew that nest around her. And then she's gonna get up, she's gonna go get a little more, she's gonna sit back in the little seat she's made until she has made her nest to fit her. And the reason they use spider webbing and elastic plant fibers is because that nest needs to stretch as her babies get bigger. And remember, their eggs are anywhere from the size of a coffee bean to a small jelly bean. So they're really, a small jelly bean. So if you want to help them, we have nesting material, and that's why I have this here. You can actually put out, this is unbleached cotton, horsehair. They will use cat or dog hair. They've even used human hair. You can not, if you want to encourage them to nest, don't, what is that called? Don't take the cobwebs down. You know how you have pest control that comes by and they brush the cobwebs out? My guy used to freak out because I wouldn't let him take the cobwebs down. And I said, well, then what are the hummingbirds going to do? They eat the little spiders. And anyway, eventually he had to go. Because he wasn't getting it. So no dryer lint. And the reason no dryer lint is because it gets wet. And when it gets wet, it falls apart. It gets heavy and it falls out of the nest, and then the babies fall out of the nest. So this is really good. It's inexpensive. If you don't like this, we have other options for you to put it in. If you don't like the way this looks, there are other things that you can put this in. Different feeders that you can use, or different ways that you can display this. All birds will use this. Sparrows, house finches, your goldfinches, love this stuff. So that instead of buying a birdhouse, that is what we suggest that you do. Nesting material. All right, don't forget the water. Hummingbirds love to bathe. And the reason they love to bathe is that sugar, whether it's flour sugar, natural, or the sugar that they get, because they're messy eaters, that they get from the feeders, degrades feathers. It actually eats away at the feathers. So they need to bathe regularly. So if you don't have a way to provide a bird bath or a fountain, this is a nice way to provide water. So this is a water feeder. A lot of people think this is a hummingbird feeder. No, that would be just horrible for them, actually. Because they would get all that sugar all over them. But it's a nice way to keep it up in a tree and provide water for smaller birds. And it's wide enough where they could bathe. So they need to stay clean. That's very important. Oh, I wanted to show this. Okay. Bear with me. Because I'm not sure how my link's not going to work. We're going to just skip right over this, but I couldn't get the ad to go away. I needed Kevin.
My hands are full.
I'm going to make it bigger now. Okay, I got it. It's 7 minutes long, so I'm just going to... I mean, you can get mesmerized by it. Is it not working?
May have to stop presenting in the Google Slides.
Change your screen display.
Where's that button? Where is it?
So go to the open up PowerPoint. We're getting a behind the scenes look here.
Right here? Down here?
Down there, yeah. And then wherever the presenting one is.
That one?
Yeah, there, something happened. Okay.
No, they went away.
So click on, where's the one that's being, there's like 3 open. Is it this one in the middle?
This one that says hummingbird baths. That's the one I opened.
Click on it. Okay, click on the, go back to the PowerPoint. Click on the PowerPoint to the farther right.
This one?
Yeah. Click on the 3 dots.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. Where are the 3? There we are.
And then hide presenter
Hide,
view. Yep.
Prevent presenter view.
Yep.
Just one blank.
Okay, and then let's see, can we? Well,
Nope.
we broke it.
There's something.
No, it's actually some text on the screen.
All right. Well, I can't do this. It's bummer.
Source on your remote. Just
All right. Well, we'll just. We were doing so well too.
That's okay. We just do this to let everyone know we're human.
I don't want anyone to know that. All right. So where's my 3 buttons again? I'm so sorry.
Is it this one or the other one over there to the right?
That one's gone.
No, click here. Click on that one. Click on the
There's
3 dots.
buttons.
And then it should show presenter view. Why did the TV stop responding?
I don't know.
Oh, there, it's back.
The hummingbird
All
is
right.
back.
Well, we're just gonna have to pass that. That's too bad.
There you go.
All right. So we're back. All right. So the blue-throated hill star. We're almost done. So hummingbirds are always evolving. They are constantly changing, and that's what's really cool about them because they're one of the few birds that is still doing that, still becoming, adapting to its environment, still, I don't know, making the adjustments it needs on the evolutionary scale to still be here. And I mean, when you go to the Andes, like in Ecuador and Chile and Patagonia, where those high mountain ranges are, where there's like a lot of hummingbirds, they are finding that hummingbirds are adapting to higher and higher elevations. And that means that they are adapting to the different flowers and the different blooming seasons that are at those higher and higher elevations. So in 2018, a researcher was out wandering around in one of these higher elevated areas, and they discovered a hummingbird that they didn't know was here. Now, it's probably like 250,000 years old, because that's actually the age of hummingbirds in general, from the earth science perspective, I guess. But we didn't know about it till 2018. It lives in the southern Andes Mountains, and there's approximately only 250 individuals in the wild right now. And it has a protected land area of about 110 acres, and they managed to do that in 2020. Now the problem with it is probably prevalent. And what's happening with it is that it nests in caves. Because it's very windswept there, so it nests in caves, and it likes the nectar from a particular flower. Actually, it's more of a cactus or plant. And what's happening is grazing is encroaching on that area, and what they do for grazing is they burn, and then, I don't know, I guess they plant grass or something, but they burn the area. And so it's losing its plant that it's survived on. So what they're trying to do is to preserve the space where the plant is so that the hummingbird can continue to exist. But we didn't even know it was here until 2018. So I just find that amazing that we still have things like that out there. All right. So if you find an injured hummingbird, contact Liberty Wildlife. They are the only ones that are licensed in the state of Arizona to handle hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are tricky. Not anyone can do it. It's not like a pigeon or a sparrow. They are tricky. And they need someone who understands how they work and give them the proper care. So, they are the only people that we could bring an injured hummingbird to. All right, and so these are my resources. I didn't use any AI. I do it all the hard way. So I would really recommend, highly recommend, you can find this on YouTube, PBS Nature documentary, Hummingbirds of Hollywood. It follows a rehabber, a hummingbird rehabber, her one season, and she's wonderful. She's entertaining, she's moving. She's the author of this book, Fastest Things on Wings, which I highly recommend. If you have any interest in birds or hummingbirds, or just want a good read that is not scientific, that is just full of love for the bird and for people, this is a wonderful, wonderful book. And she's got a great sense of
Watch
humor.
it again on PBS. I did see it, but is it
I don't know if you can, but you can go to YouTube
YouTube? Okay.
and just search for Hummingbirds in Hollywood, and it will come up. That's what I did. So I did find it on YouTube. If you want to watch something really cool on PBS right now, it's called the Pigeon Hustle.
Pigeon Hustle.
Pigeon Hustle. It's really will change how you see pigeons. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I recommend this book.
Yes.
I read it twice.
It's a very good book.
It's a very good book.
How long do hummingbirds live?
On average is 5 years. In captivity, they can live up to 15. So, but average is 5. And then I got article information out of articles and magazines. If you guys don't want to subscribe to something that is really cool that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife provide for us, and it's not U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Arizona Game and Fish provide for us. This magazine is $18 for a year. It comes 6 times in a year. It's awesome. I mean, it tells you everything that's happening in our state with our wildlife. And they have amazing articles and great photography. So I have where is it? It's like, I don't know, 7 pages long. All about hummingbirds. So, yeah, it's just really cool. But I think if you, I can take questions. Anyone has any questions? I'm sorry the bath didn't work. I was like, oh, I'm done.
It was amazing, thank you.
Did you find it?
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Did everyone get a goodie bag? Yes?
I didn't.
Okay. You're welcome. I hope you walk away knowing something you didn't think.
Absolutely, thank you.